My name is Marcus, and this is my story. A couple of years ago, I worked at a customer service call center. Nothing glamorous, just one of those massive rooms filled with cubicles, cheap coffee, and the constant sound of ringing phones. Every day was the same. Customers with billing problems, forgotten passwords, complaints about late shipments. Most calls were forgettable. I couldn't have told you a single name at the end of the day. But then there was him. The first time he called, he said his name was David. His issue was simple, something about needing to reset his account. I walked him through it, and just as I was about to end the call, he stopped me. "What's your name again?" he asked. I hesitated. Normally I just said my first name, but there was something about the way he asked that made me feel exposed. Still, I told him, "Marcus." He repeated it slowly, like he was testing the sound. "Marcus, I like that." I brushed it off, finished the call, and moved on. But the next day, he called again. And again, sometimes twice a day, and he always asked for me by name. At first, I thought maybe it was a coincidence, that he just preferred working with the same representative. But it became clear very quickly that it wasn't the account he cared about, it was me. He'd ask how my day was, if I liked working there, if I was married. He slipped in questions so casually it almost felt normal. Almost. Then the tone changed. One afternoon, he said, "You sound tired, Marcus. Were you out late last night?" I froze. How would he know that? I told myself it was just a guess. Maybe my voice gave it away. But the next week, I got proof it was more than that. I left the office one evening around 9 p.m. The parking lot was nearly empty, just a few scattered cars under buzzing streetlights. As I walked toward my car, I felt it, that prickle on the back of my neck, like I was being watched. I turned, and across the street, standing under a lamppost, was a man. He didn't wave, didn't move, just stood there, staring. I got in my car as quickly as I could and drove off, convincing myself it was nothing. But the next day, David called again. And the first thing he said was, "You looked handsome in that black jacket last night." My blood ran cold. That was the exact jacket I had worn. I went straight to my supervisor. She tried to calm me down, said maybe it was a prank, maybe a coincidence. But I knew it wasn't. The very next day, flowers arrived at the office, no note, just my name written on the card. Then came a mug with my name printed on it. Then, a letter, handwritten, neat, careful cursive. It said, "I think we'd be perfect together. Stop fighting it." I hadn't told him my last name. I hadn't told him where I worked, beyond the company itself. And yet, he knew. At that point, HR got involved. They flagged his account, traced his information, and found out that David wasn't his real name at all. He had created multiple fake profiles just to get through the system to me. And worse, he had a record. Harassment, breaking and entering, a restraining order from another city. The police were contacted. They said they'd keep an eye out. But honestly, it didn't make me feel safer. A week passed. No calls, no letters, no sightings. I started to think maybe it was over. But then, one night around 2 a.m., my phone rang. It was an unknown number. Half asleep, I answered. And I heard his voice. Calm, whispering, "Check your front door." My heart nearly stopped. I grabbed a kitchen knife and slowly walked toward the door. Through the peephole, I could see an envelope taped to it. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a photo of me, sleeping in my bed. That was the moment I knew he had been inside my apartment. I barely remember calling the police. When they arrived, the locks showed no signs of forced entry. But my window latch, broken. He must have been getting in while I was at work. Or worse, while I was home. I moved out within days. New apartment, new locks, new number. I changed everything I could. For months, I lived in constant fear, waiting for him to show up again. And then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped. No more calls, no more letters, silence. It's been years now. I've tried to put it behind me. Sometimes I almost believe it's over. But here's the twist. About 6 months after moving, I got curious. I went through some of my old boxes, looking for an old notebook. That's when I found it. Hidden at the bottom of a stack of papers was another photo. A photo I didn't put there. It was of me again, at my new apartment. Sitting at my kitchen table, eating dinner. The police never figured out how he found me again. And me. I don't know what's worse, the thought that he's still watching, or the thought that one day, he'll decide to stop watching, and finally make his move. This is my story.